Hello.
Hello, I don't see you.
Why is that? Hold on. Let me.
I don't know.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, um, how are we looking with the track? What do you think? Or did you do some stuff? Have you new?
Actually, I before I exported to you the final
Yeah.
version already, yes. And after that, I'm still thinking how to mix and master it well. So yeah, I wanted to ask like, how is that? If this is like totally final, so maybe can start already mixing and mastering like
Um,
this.
yeah, we can definitely do that. But on Friday we have our feedback meeting. That means I'm sitting with Dom and Massimo, and we exchange our feedback about the tracks. We listen to all the tracks, and we listened to your version as well. And we think that there's too many things in there still. We need to focus on maybe less elements to make it more a story. And Dom said it sounds a little bit of like a mashup of two different songs.
I was thinking that that's the point. There should be a lot of elements because I understand there are two different kinds of tracks. Like some kinds are more melodic, and they have like this how to say slow things that go upper, upper, upper. Yes, and in my track, it's a lot of energy, and actually, that's kind of the tracks that I play on the stage. So that's why, like, when I was creating, I was thinking, like, okay, if that wasn't my track, can I
Mm.
play it? Like, if I like it. So that's what I ask myself when I do a track. So I don't know. I just get used to a lot of things in one track because, for example, when I play as a DJ, I always like when the track is filled with a lot of things
Mm.
like this, like less pauses, less slow things, like more fast.
I think I understand what you mean. So you think you have a lot of like different kinds of levels of energy in the track, and you have to slow.
Yes, yes. Because maybe if, for example, there's a quiet day and you just play, listen to the track, maybe it will not have feedback in your mind. You will think, or in your soul, you will think, okay, maybe it's too much. But if you're playing in set, and when you have the similar tracks and when there is a big set and you keep the energy. So some DJs, for example, we how we do we just play by buttons. Yeah, sometimes we just skip the moments where it's like slow things.
Yeah.
uh, so in my track there are no slow things. No need to skip anything.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I mean, I think the energy is good and the elements you have. But if I would ask you, what is the main key element of the track? Which one would it be? What is the main the story? You know, the hook. Every track has normally one hook. You know, where you can rely to. When you say this track, I remember because it's like this melody or this beat. You have something. Which is the for you the most important part of this track? Is there one or are there two or are there three?
uh, the one is good for beginning because it's just like more slow beat and it's like begin for people to understand what's going on, like to start to move. Yeah,
Yeah.
and later already go to the more huge drop like this. Yeah, I understand that they have like a lot of things in one track, but maybe that's what I wanted because I also paid attention to the tracks where have dubstep and have this big drop and trance elements. So for me it's like interesting. It's
Hmm.
interesting because you never know what will be next. You can start and think, okay, maybe this will be like this, and then you, oh, surprise.
I know what you mean. But sometimes for one track, it's better if you focus on not too many things. As you said, the dubstep is another thing. So you have the trance, you have the ravey sound, which is really a very strong, strong, strong part. And then you have the vocal, which has also his position. And then you come to a dubstep track. Do you really think you need all these elements in this one track? Or could you maybe, let's say, get something out of it and try to make more of a round story, you know, because now it's like you go from this, then you go from this, and then you go back to this, and then something new comes. So if you are on a dance floor, sometimes you just want to be in the groove, you know. And I know from a point of a DJ that you want to be changing the melodies or the elements quickly. But when you listen to tracks, also for me, when I listen to it on Friday, it's sometimes there's too much new stuff coming in, you know, and then to follow the story of the track a little bit. Maybe we can think of that. Did you play this version to any friends of yours? Maybe you get feedback from friends, what they think. Did you do that? I know
Actually,
it's difficult.
no, because my friends are not in music, and of course I know some DJs and some maybe kind of producers, but they are like more like a hobby, but they have different genre. For example, my brother, I asked him, but he likes another genre. It may be confused and sometimes upset because he can say in his opinion.
That's what I said. It's hard or difficult to get feedback which makes sense for your question, because many people just listen to a track and say, I like it, I don't like it. But this is not what we need. We need a feedback from someone who knows more of this genre, more tracks of that, so they can compare with it. But did you compare? Did you also compare this production also to other tracks in your library? And do you think it's
yes. That's what I'm talking. For example, I play nonstop 2 hours, like in record box, all the tracks from the set or I'm preparing, and they have all the similar style. And then I play my track, and I understand. So they are like the same style, and I have this feeling like, yeah, this is right. And sometimes some tracks are even more energetic and even more have more things inside. So mine is not like the most, that there are a lot of things in him in it.
But I think at least we should try then to connect all these elements better. You know, when you have a track, you listen to it, you have a flow. You listen to it at the beginning, it goes up, the energy goes down, goes back, and you have this flow and you can follow it. When you don't know the track in a club and people are dancing, they just follow what the track gives them, what the story the track tells. And the production now is still like, I feel that, and we had this feeling as well, the elements are not really connected, but this is something which comes in the mixing and the next phases, like making small little transitions to make it not look like, okay, this element, this, but it's more like one, you know what I mean? Like connecting everything instead of having single parts in a track, which are just coming one after the other. You want to have a big story. And I think this is at least something we should look at, to make a connection and to go from one part to the other. Sometimes it's good if you have a stop and then boom, next part comes, like suddenly there's a dubstep part.
Yes, I understand what you mean, but I don't know how to do it actually, because like for me, like now it's the version that I would like to keep. But if you think that this is there are some elements need to change, so I need to understand which one.
No, I totally get you. And what I would suggest, because you haven't, what I would suggest, if that's okay for you, we set up another meeting in this week and we speak together with Dom and we listen to the track and you say what you think about that. And because it's your track, it's your decision. I will not tell you how to do it. I want to help you. And if you say you want to do it to mixing, then let's do the mixing. Okay, then it's not a problem. But maybe it's not a lot, you know, maybe you think it's too much of a change. Maybe it's just like a little bit of tweaks and stuff, like, but then, yeah, do you think this is okay if you...
Great. I just was thinking, what if I would like to keep it like that?
Then we keep it like that. Then we just do the mixing and
okay.
but some final details on the transitions we have to do, because you said you don't know how to do it, like going from one part to the other. We can definitely help you with that and work on that together, so it's more smooth. Did you work on it since you sent the last version?
No, I sent last version, and then I thought about, like, I put every sound to different channels, so I can already made some effects, and I was thinking about the mixing. So I wanted to ask you, like, first is, should I do some mixing and then discuss and show to you, or also connect to Massimo for session?
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah, Massimo already had some ideas on the mixing, for example, the vocals and the lead sounds. He said, yeah, we can do this and this and this. If you want to start it by yourself, okay. But if you want just to get an opinion from Massimo as well, from the mixing, and then we can set up a meeting this week, and then he's happy to talk to you about that.
First of all, I wanted to ask, like, for example, I do mixing,
Yeah.
like I can, yes,
Yeah.
and then I show
Okay.
to you, or I show to Massimo, or like
You do your mixing now, as you suggest, first yourself, and next Monday we do a session together with Massimo.
oh,
You have
that's
1 week
great.
now, and next week I bring Massimo in, and then yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And I wanted to ask, like, this ozone, yes, from
Yeah.
Isotope, can I use it for mixing, or this is just for mastering? What can you say?
No, you can also use it for mixing, and because you have the big full plugin in your folder, and you have the single plugins like EQ and
Yes.
and you don't have to use the full plugin all the time. And if you just want to use the compressor, it's great for mixing. It's really cool.
So
Really.
it's good, yeah, for mixing. But how do you think, like, during mixing, not necessary to use dynamic and limiter, for example, just EQ and compressor will be enough, or need some more things?
Maybe you need some more. Sometimes I use very often limiters in mixing already. For example, the drums are like going, sometimes the snare, sometimes tuck, 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 then you can compress and limit it a little bit. You could use limiters from Ozone for that. And dynamic EQ, yeah, sometimes, only if you really need them. If you have, let's say, just a lead sound or a very simple sound, then you can normally use normal EQs without having the dynamic EQ. I would only use dynamic EQs when you find out that the normal EQ does not work. If you say, oh, it's not helping me, then switch to dynamic. Then, because this is gonna eat a lot of your processor resources. Yeah, but we can discuss this next week, also in the mixing session, then with Massimo or even with Dom. He's really great with dynamic EQs and stuff.
That's great. I will just do everything I can, like, this week, yeah. And I think maybe I can also make, like, mastering, because it's like, it's not very hard thing, but also at the same time it's very hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, for example, during mixing, you just make leveling, EQ, compressor, and mastering. You also use everything, like, from bundle, for example, yeah, comparing, like, all these sounds, check a lot of times, and then you're almost done. But actually, if you show this to professional, he can say, like, okay, this is this is should be changed like this. So yeah, I'll do like I can, and then show to you result, and you will say how
and I think this is good for you for learning as well. You do it yourself, and then we can tell you what could be better, what is good already, so you learn what you are good and what you can improve. So this is actually is way better than if we just do everything now, Yeah, then we can discuss it, and we can talk about your mixing, your way of mixing. What EQs do you normally use?
The same that goes indoor.
Yeah.
Fruity too. Like this. Yeah.
And compressors the same, the Fruity compressors.
Yeah. Okay. Fruity compressors.
Yeah, let's see what we can do with Ozone. You can try them out, and you see a little bit what they have in store, and then on Monday we work on everything.
Okay, that's great. But like, is it okay if I keep the track like this, or you strongly recommend to change something?
Let me discuss it again. I think we have to change some things, because from a DJ point of view, for the flow, but I want you to listen to the reference track or tracks. So maybe you think we want to destroy the track, but that's not our intention, not at all. It's just maybe having some elements. Maybe it's also about balancing the elements you have in there. It's not about destroying your idea, not at all.
But what are you talking about? About the first part or about the second part? After the drop already repeating, like the connection between the first part and the second part, or you are talking about the first part and connection between drops?
In the beginning, you know, you have the synths and the drums, and you have the vocal coming in, and then you have the build up, and then you go into the next step. The yeah, it's also new, and then you go to something new again, like the dubstep. Then you go back to the beginning. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. There is a structure. I understand your idea, but I think there are ways to make it a little bit more easy to follow for the listener. And maybe it's just details or transitions, so that we go from one part to the other, not like this, but more like this. You know, we connect them. It's not like jumping, or it's more.
Okay, let me prepare my references also, okay?
Yes, that's a good
So we can compare. Maybe you will understand my feeling also, like what I mean, like.
Hey, totally. And I would love to discuss it, you know, to get your thoughts on it, and you get our thoughts, and then we, as I said, I'm not going to tell you how to do your track. We want to help you, and if that's what you want, we will make the best out of it. You know, at the end, it's going to be cool.
Thank you. No, you also understand me, right? Please, I appreciate your opinion and your suggestions very much. But like in this case, like before, we talk, and the second part, which we talked about the last session, and then I changed like this more energetic, and when I made the full picture, so I thought like, yeah, this is it. Now I'm a little bit confused because I don't know what to do else. It needs some changes, but yeah, let's talk about this next time. I will do mixing mastering and show you, and also prepare some reference so you can feel maybe together how is it.
Okay,
with all the tracks.
that sounds good. I'm looking forward to the next session. Anyway, then have a good one, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
And you, bye.
Bye.